Hi guys, this is Dr. R. Arthi, associated with Kamaraj College of Engineering Technology as an associate professor in the Department of Information Technology. In the previous video, we were going through about a concept called modules in Python, where we discussed what is module, how this module can be used in our program, and how the functions that are present inside the module can be accessed. In this video, we are going to look into a demo on all these processes. So let us go directly into the demo. Different functionality of the modules with various example, and as we saw in our previous example, let me put on that specific code first. So let me create a file called calc.py. As I said, calc.py is going to act as a module, and this file is going to have some set of functions. So let me have those functions over here as def add a comma b, which is going to have some return statement like a plus b, and then we do have another function called def sub of a comma b, and here we are going to return a minus b. Likewise, let me have two more functions as mul a comma b, and here a return statement with a into b, and then finally having a function called div a comma b, and I am going to have here a return statement with a by b. So this is a simple code which is having all these four functions, and I have named this as calc.py. In my main code, I am going to utilize all these functions by importing calc. So calc is nothing but the module which is already we have created those modules with four functions, and I am going to use that in my main.py having with import calc. And now let me use the functions that are present inside the calc having with addition, and let me put here as calc dot add of a comma b. So let me give some value as 10 comma 20, and then a print statement for having the difference between the elements, and let me have here the call function for sub as calc dot sub of 10 comma 20, and same way let me put on the third one, which is the product of two numbers as product of comma calc of dot mul of 10 comma 20. So once I am using all these functions, let me execute, and you could see that we have obtained the result for addition, subtraction, product as 30, 10 and 200. How this is working? As we say, add is a function which is present under the calc module, and hence I am accessing the add function through calc, and this is being possible only because of this import statement. So import calc. So this is how we can make use of the modules. Let me show one other specific functionality in modules. As we saw here in calc, we have four different functions, but in this code I am not utilizing div. So there is a possibility of utilizing one or two functions. For instance, if I am going to use only addition module which is present under calc, the remaining four modules is not necessary to be imported here. In that case, we can use one specific syntax called from calc import add. So at this juncture, what I am trying to tell is, we can import a specific function that is present inside a module using from statement. So from statement is used to have a specific functionality of any modules. So the syntax of this is going to be as from the module name import the function name. So here on executing this specific code, we are getting an error. The reason is, as we know that any function in Python can be accessed using the module name as we saw before, whereas in this case the case where we are more specific to a function. It is not necessary to mention the module name before a function. So, just it is enough to say add of 10 comma 20, and on clicking this run button, the code will be executed successfully. So, that is the difference between using any module only using import or using the import along with from. So, whenever you are using only import statement, it is mandate for you to tell about the module name along with the function. So, if it is a case like import calc, and if I am going to use only one function, even then which is present inside calc, we have to use the module name dot function name. Whereas, when we go with from calc import add. So, here we are in specific pinpointing a function called add which is present in calc. So, in that case it is not necessary to invoke the method add using calc, using the module name. It is just enough to tell about add. Okay. In case I want to have the access to either two functions that are present inside the module. So, in that case, let me put here the second module which is sub, which is separated with comma. So, here I can put another statement telling difference and having with sub. So, on executing this code, we will be getting the result for addition as well as for difference. Okay, what happens if I am going to have product? If I am going to have product telling with mul, do you think this code will execute successfully? No, this will not execute successfully. Since Python is an interpreter, this will produce a result for addition as well as subtraction. So, I am getting the result as addition 30, difference 10, which is the result which is obtained from the first two statements. And then we are going to face an error at this specific statement, because we are not importing the calculator, this calc module for mul operation. Hence, this specific program cannot recognize this function mul. That is the reason why the compiler is, the Python interpreter is telling we are having a name error as mul is not defined. If you want to correct this specific error, I have to include this mul along with this import statement. Otherwise, I should go with my traditional way of doing like import calc. So, either from calc import add comma sub comma mul has to be done, or else calc has to be imported directly such that every function can be accessed using calc. So, this is how any sort of modules can be used. Now, let me speak about one other functionality in modules. As I said, we do have other than the function, we can also have any variable. So, let me tell that I am going to have a variable called found. So, this found equal to 1, I can go here and make use of this variable found, like found equal to found calc dot found, and let me change here as import calc, and let me have here as calc dot and for mul also let me put here as calc dot. So, on executing this code, you could see the variable found has taken the value 1, fine. So, I can access any sort of variables that are present inside the module. This is not only for the scalar value, this is also possible for any sort of data structures like a list or a tuple or a string or any dictionary. So, let me go with one specific example for list. So, let me have here as fruits equal to apple, banana, mango, right. So, we have 3 different values and fruits is a variable which is representing a list. Now, coming back to main, now here I can put a print statement telling calci dot fruits, calci dot fruits, and let me have here some statements like name of the fruits. Fine. So, let me execute this code. So, on executing this code, you could see that the list of fruits has been displayed here, and along with this you can also go for updating this list by having calci dot fruits dot append of watermelon. And now let me try to display this again. So, on displaying this, let me see how my code has made a change in the output. See, initially we have the listing of fruits without watermelon. After updating the list with watermelon, I am getting the list updated. So, this is how we can make use of the variables or the functions or whatever might be. Whatever we do, all those things can be done having with modules. Now, the question here is whether this specific updation is actually done with this fruits now. No, when you open calci.c, you could see there will be only 3 values like apple, banana and mango. You could not see watermelon over here. So, whatever you do as an updation or whatever modification that you do with the values that are present over here, those things will be like a change of that specific program. So, a copy of this variable is taken to this main code, and with that copy whatever updation or modification that you do, all those things will be carried on. So, that is with the user defined modules. As we saw in our previous video, we do define that the modules are nothing but a collection of function, and those modules can be used inside the code having with import statement. And if I want to have the access to the functions that are present inside the module, we have to access it using calci dot method name, or else if we want to have the access of a specific function in a module, in that case you are supposed to use the keyword called from, following to from specifying the module name, and then import with a specific function or a specific variable. So, for example, if I am telling us fruits, so now what I am trying to do is I am going to utilize the variable fruits that are present inside calci. So, now let me try executing this code. You could see, I am sorry. So, since we are using here from, you cannot go with calci dot, that is the reason why it is showing error. You could say an error as name error because found is not imported over here, only fruits are imported. If I am going to change this code by putting this line above found, and if I am going to execute, you could see the answer for apple, mango and banana, and after updating it, after updating the fruits variable with watermelon, you could see the output as apple, banana, mango, watermelon. But when it is executing this found variable, so found variable, this is not present in this specific program and it is not imported, hence it is throwing error. So, that is with the user defined module. The same way in Python we do have predefined modules like math, time, as I said in a previous video. We do have plenty of built-in modules. and one such module is math, and this math contains plenty of inbuilt functions. Let me discuss few functions which are present inside the math module. The first one is to find the square root. So, in order to find the square root of any number, you could just say math.sqrt.